Hello friends, welcome to the New Rules of Business Season 2. In Season 1, we spoke about companies like Amazon, Starbucks, Flipkart, Twitter, companies who are from the new age. These companies are dismantling the old rules of business and installing new rules of business. In Season 2, we speak to disruptors, entrepreneurs who are actually dismantling the old rules and installing new rules. In Episode 1 of Season 2, we speak to one such disruptor. Let me share with you what he underwent. He went to MTV with a youth-centric content, believing MTV will welcome him. Instead, MTV shut their door on him. What did he do? He took a resolve to disrupt the TV industry. You would be thinking, I'm going to be introducing you to a magician because only a magician can pull out so many rabbits from his hat. No, we'll be speaking to an entrepreneur. Friends, let me have the pleasure of introducing Arunabh Kumar to you, founder of TVF. Friends, let's get straight down talking to Arunabh. Arunabh, when MTV slammed the door on your face, were you determined to disturb the television industry?
No, I think a lot of people think that it sort of might have, okay, now I'll do something, but thankfully the desire was stronger to prove myself right than prove others wrong. I always say that there was no design in disrupting the industry, I'll say. I think it all begins with a very simple, naive observation that I used to have. Whenever I used to meet all these young, my friends and college kids, I used to do a small research, asking them what is your last television memory. And the two answers that I used to get was sports and news. So I think an entire generation, the younger, aspirational, progressive young Indians had stopped watching fiction program on TV. And that was a research. There is a very interesting 4-question test which Jeff Bezos does with all the new initiatives which happen in Amazon. Yeah. So, and I think the third question of that is the market actually underserved before you start out. So actually TVF Media Labs, which was a production house doing branded content, rather than buying a flat, I decided to invest in original content. That was not something which my parents were very proud of. But I thought that it's underserved, and I think, I like doing it.
What's your differentiator vis-a-vis, let's say, other brands or other branded content in the market?
See, I think the differentiation lies in the kind of product that you put out. I think, in our case, of course, we had $0 for marketing, so there was nothing to be spent, no perception to be spent upon and built on. The only thing that we could actually do was let's make a product, hope people like it, and they are able to see that differentiation. So that is something which is an outcome of half a decade of work now. We are in the 5th year of operations, and we started putting out original content in 2012 February. So I think, there was a lens view of looking at the kind of content I wanted to watch. That's how I started creating, and that lens view became the USP and the differentiation and the personality of TVF. But I think we just stuck to being honest about our lives, our stories, and that honesty in trying to create is sort of what people appreciate, is also what I think. Like, we recently released the show called Aadha 24, which is about 12 hours before exams. And when you read the comments, inevitably on all the videos and all the shows of TVF, you will find that people say that, hey, this is what happened to me, and this
it resonates.
Yeah, it resonates. So I think that is something which is consistent in our work.
So its relevance and resonance is what you feel could be a differentiator. Arunabh, let's come to the digital world. You create content for the digital world and you put it out there, but digital world is a wild jungle. Content get lost. So what are you doing, or more importantly, what did you do so that your content did not get lost in this jungle?
So actually, if you take the entire online ecosystem in this country, it's divided in pre-Rowdies era and post-Rowdies era. So when we made Rowdies, that was the first original video for YouTube which went viral and which was not present in anywhere else. it completely traveled on the merit of content, and it still does.
What's the strategy that you guys use to get customers to speak good things about you?
No, I think that's a completely fair point. The advertising and marketing world believed in a push media where the more cash you have in the bank. But I think we it comes again because from the fact that we didn't have anything. We didn't have even 1 rupee to market it. So there was no question of having some communication campaign or a PR. That just wasn't in the. I was struggling with thousands and hundreds of rupees to keep this afloat. So means, of course, and I'm sure if I had money, I would have tried to do it. But that really helped us is because the only thing that was our vehicle to market ourselves was our content, our product. And this is a leaf I take out from most of the German companies who believe in that their products are what they should be. Their products are their brand ambassadors. BMW stands for its own product, and a Siemens or a Bosch. And I said, okay, this is a great insight. They believe that you would rather put $1 more into what you make.
Content. Arunabh, moving on to content, and it's the content that did the marketing for you. Content is created not by you alone, but by people who are with TVF. Then the question comes, how do you select people who create this awesome content which does the marketing for you, which get guys to speak good things about you?
It started in a very organic way. There was no method in the madness. It's the same thing. It's the same algorithm. We want to make certain things and we attract people who want to share that. Or sometimes people walk into our office these days who want to make something and we like it and we want to support that. There is no third or fourth way that you can sort of put a process to this. There is an inherent nature of TVF which most of the people who want to work with us understand. Like how you will say that I want to write a film for Sanjay Leela Bhansali because I love Devdas. And while there will be writers and actors who want to work in an Anurag Kashyap film or a Diwakar Banerjee film or a Balki film saying that, okay, I like their kind of art. So the idea is that, okay guys, this is us. We just lay bare ourselves and you have seen our work. If you like us, and it's fine. If you don't like us, that's what you shouldn't be here then if you don't like us. And I think the right people would be, so you can say, I would say a very, this thing that, I don't select them, they select us. It is the other way around.
Now, was there a strategy in making your office not a workplace but into a fun place? Does it lead to increase in creativity? Does it unbottle people? Does it make people more productive?
No, I think I have a very counterintuitive opinion on this because I don't think that offices have become fun or become cooler because of colorful beanbags. That's the worst thing that Google did. Everybody is having very colorful office and everybody thinks that it's a great culture. It's not. Culture is not defined by beanbags in any office. I think it is, if in fact, if you look at our office, it's a great balance of formal and informal environment. And I believe if you take any of that out, it will fall in, like a pack of cards. And this is something that I maintain that it's if you ask Biswapati, who's known as one of the best writers in this country, he says writing is not my passion, it's a job I want to excel at. So that's every one of us here love our job and we want to excel at it. We don't believe that, okay, if we'll be having fun and we'll be smoking up, we'll be getting great ideas. ऐसा कुछ नहीं है यहाँ पे. मतलब, we don't think that's the worst kind of thing that has happened in creative industry. The ways of working have been misconstrued and defined very wrongly. When somebody walked into this office and said that writing is my passion, then dude, I don't really need to make my place fun to make you passionate about your passion. So, in fact, the litmus test would be that I should be throwing you into one cave and still you would be writing because it's your passion. So yeah, so I think, we would rather have people who anyway know that what is fun for them is doing the work that they love, then that's it. Then we don't really need to have colorful beanbags.
I know we spoke about various things. The kind of success that you've attracted is awesome. The subscriber base 1.5 million and counting, community 5 million and counting. It has attracted competitors, and not just competitors but big boys. Yashraj Films has also entered into the domain in which you operate. Does the entry of these big boys in any way bother you?
I think I don't know, I read some quote somewhere that the only three things certain in life is death, taxes and competition. In your professional life, you know, so this is true actually for any professional life. These three are inevitable, and I feel that competition is a good thing. I think competition only keeps you always on your toes. Competition shows that you are not the guy playing the game only, because if you're the only guy playing the game, you might actually be following the wrong sport. So that's also good. The big guys getting excited about the thing that we started, and they now, you know, aspire and try, and you know, all of them have our shows and our names in their PPTs. So I think that's a great thing to be proud of, I'll say. You know, I mean, to come out of nowhere and all of bunch of small towners, and we created something which the big guys believe in. That is actually a reward for us, not really something that we see as competition, because when a YRF, when an Eros, when a Star, when a Viacom, and when all these guys think that, okay, you know, whatever these guys are doing is right, so that's the best pat on the back you can get. And also, I think the traditional industry and some of these big guys have actually been partners in crime. They are the guys who have supported us. They are the guys who have encouraged us. You know, Ashish, I remember one of his tweets way back in 2014 where he said that, you know, Permanent Roommate is the best fiction show ever created in the country. So I think these kind of things actually, you know, help us smile and get more encouraged to do more work. I believe in the ecosystem in general in this country, and specifically knowing of content ecosystem, we'll need 5 generations of great work to reach at a place where we'll think that, okay, there is competition, we should be scared. I think, you know, हमारे country का एक problem है कि, you know, फसल उगने से पहले लुटेरे आ जाते हैं. तो, you know, and so I think that is something which I want everyone to be cognizant of, that things like short charging prices, things like, you know, trying to. So there are 2 ways to live life. There is an abundance mentality, and then there's a scarcity mentality. Now, scarcity would be that, okay, there are only so many brands, there is only so many, you know, let's try it, let's do something, otherwise there's competition, you know, what will happen. And then there is an abundance mentality that humanity could have survived without Apple devices. And Apple is the most valuable company in this world. Humanity didn't need Apple devices, but the guy believed in it, and the company believed in it, and then the entire team thought, let's make something such awesome piece of shit that everybody would want to own it. So I think when you come with that abundance mentality, then there is so much of money and so many opportunities to have had, that the universe is waiting for you to give them something so that they'll give you that sort of a wealth. And I come from that mentality, so I never consider competition. मतलब, you know, to be very honest, मैं जब बच्चा भी था तो भी सोचता था कि there is no scope of competition in show business, because अगर 2 अच्छी फिल्म लगी है तो मैं दोनों देखूंगा, शायद सेम डे नहीं देखूंगा, बाद में देखूंगा. अगर 10 अच्छे वीडियोस बने हैं तो मैं 10 देखूंगा. So I think at least in our context, it doesn't really make a difference.
What is the magical thing that you did that you attracted an investor? What did he see in TVF?
When you have guys who manage billions of dollars, I think, you know, they are way too smart, and they have a very, very interesting and macro purview of things. You look at Netflix, you look at Amazon, you look at Apple, and you look at Facebook and Google. Now there are these 5 sort of, say, the, you know, powers that be in this world. Amazon just spun off its Amazon Prime and Amazon Instant Video, so now you don't really have to have Prime, you can be an Amazon Instant Video. Facebook has been pushing its video content. BuzzFeed has been pushing its video content. YouTube, of course, has always been there. And Netflix is the another 80 billion you know, company which is out there. So I think, you know, when you see these 5-6 guys, I think it's very easy for investors to know that, okay, you know, if these 5 guys are doing it, then I think my research is done. So there is a lot of excitement in content this year. All these companies, I can see that they have an ambition of becoming media companies, because everything else can be commoditized. What is not commoditized is content. And that's what I think brings them to, okay, can I own this piece as well? And that's something which they might have actually told them, okay, you know, this is exciting. And in a complex country with one of the biggest potential, you know, new media consumers and customers, I think if somebody is doing great in India, then I think they can be validated with a couple of penny change thrown at them. So I think, you know.
Then comes the other part, Arunabh. With these guys coming in investors, there's going to be a conflict. At heart, you're creative, right? And you want to take risk. On the other hand, investors are risk averse. They want a bottom line. So how do you manage this conflict?
No, I think there is no conflict here. I think to be very honest, that's the thing that I keep saying, that we do use a lot of our left brain into our creativity. So for us, being creative does not mean that you don't do the maths. That's the first thing that we teach everyone, that you have to do the maths behind any piece of content and creativity that you do. So in fact, if you meet the guys in our company, they are the, so Bisso is actually a stats honors guy, and when he comes up with data around videos, it's a piece of literature, and which even PhD stats can read and get some insights from. So that's a great, again, it's a part of TVF's culture. None of us are digital artists. We are very, very cognizant of the maths all the time. Forget about investors or external parties. We ourselves always keep ourselves at a pressure that, okay, are we able to do things in the right way? Are we not just making shit out of our own whims and fancies? We never do that. And that we are always, I think nobody can be more cautious about those things than the people who are working in TVF, right? From Bangalore to Delhi, in Bombay, all of us know that, okay, we are doing something towards an end. It is not being done because we are creative at heart and we can walk away by saying that, okay, this is not my problem. It does not work it like that.
New age companies actually hand over their brands to their customers. Take Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola controlled every single aspect of its brand, from packaging, advertising, etc. But new age companies are handing over their brand to their customers. Is TVF also handing over their brands to their customers so that they own it and say, hey, it's my brand?
I think you're right. There is a lot of evangelists in our community. There are these guys who will write 6,000 words of comment when they don't like something on TVF. If they are taking so much of pain to tell us what has gone wrong with one of our videos, that means that they are no longer just loyalists or fans. They are evangelists. They are champions of TVF. And that community, doesn't really come with money. I think one of the best things and also the worst thing about digital is it's very brutal. There is, you can't throw money at a problem. You don't buy loyalty because you give them discounts. So that is something, and in content though it doesn't work at all, because you're not even giving, nobody is paying for that. So I think, that is something which I believe that even if you give me $100 million today, tomorrow I can't increase the community. It is an outcome of 4 years of awesome work which people have gone on to love, and 1 inch by 1 inch, one person by person, we have actually converted them and we have made them into TVF evangelists. And to have a family of almost 3 to 5 million extended TVF family fans, it's a priceless thing, and that we believe is not, the biggest of the companies can't walk in the country and say that, okay, one day we'll have 3 million people caring for us. It doesn't work like that.
Arunabh, last question. What you did to television industry, you disrupted it, and we've had a discussion on how you did it. The question is, what you did to the television industry, somebody is going to do it to you, right? And it's the formula for the 21st century. And the formula is that before other people come and disturb and destroy you, you have to disturb and destroy yourself. So what are you doing to disturb and destroy TVF every day?
I know. I think, that's actually a very interesting question, and I think we should have like a board meeting to answer this. This is a very, very interesting question which sort of defines the journey of any company. When you define us, if so to say, as disruptors, and like we were also discussing, that we need to then keep disrupting ourselves. And I think there cannot be a sacrosanct old guard in all the things. There is always, some semblance of direction, then you follow it, and then you maybe change the direction. I wrote some 5-7 rules when I started, when Rowdies became viral, and I thought that, TVF can sort of try and, move a little bit away from its branded content servicing business and get into original content online network. That time I remember I wrote 7 rules, and one of the rules was that we should be doing one scary thing every 3 months. And if we are not doing it, then we are not really moving in that direction. So I think that is something which, so there are times when we are scared of putting it out, but we do it, because if we don't do it, then yes, I think, when expectations increase and when you are a big brand, then you definitely become slightly more careful. Cautious. Yeah, you become more cautious, you try to, but yet, the motto has been lights, camera, experiments, and experiments fail and succeed, but you get unpredictable result only when you experiment. So I feel that if we are able to imbibe disruption as a habit, then that's something which will sail us through. So to be honest, it has happened as well. We started with comedy. We were known only for laughs, and when we launched TVF Drama 2014 September, we were actually scared that people will say, what are you doing making drama, trying to make us cry? And we thought if we get 1 million views in all 5 episodes of Permanent Roommate, the first web series in the country will open a champagne. It got 15 million. So I think, that's so I think those are these small moments of internal scare that we get. And hopefully, it should become a habit before, something otherwise happens.
The foundation is creating a great product, attracting people, in fact, right people, not to work for TVF, but actually to get them to work for themselves, right? If content is king in TVF, what is the strategy that you do deep down to make sure that these content that you create every week, every month, every fortnight, every year are relevant and they resonate with people?
I think, what you just said is actually what we do as our jobs. I don't think, I think, I tell everyone that this is our job. That's why I want to be here for 30 years doing this, because this is the exact same job that most of us are going to have. That what is it that we should do, which will be which people will like, and that's what, figuring that out, doing that, and doing an output of that is what our jobs are.
The question therefore is, how do you figure it out so consistently? It's like Sachin batting.
I think it comes, to begin with, it comes with a lot of practice. I think, we have the most practice. So practice definitely is like 90% of the contributor. The other 10% would be instinct. And all of us, 130 of us today are privileged in some sense that we have that instinct and we all follow that instinct very strongly.
What did you do to make TVF into a cool brand?
It is again, I'll go back to the example of, what do you do to create a community of Harley Davidson? What do you do to make a community of BMW? Or a community of Apple or a Xiaomi? You just make great product. I think there is no shortcut to that. And you just have fun with it. I think one of the things that I might have been actually sounding very boring till now is that we actually have fun with our content and product, and that is something which resonates with them. They are fans of the stuff that we do, and that has led them to consider us cool. You have to be nimble, you have to keep redefining yourself, you have to surprise yourself. And if you keep surprising yourself, then I think the cool quotient remains. To some extent, if you really look, if ever I could write a thesis on the whole definition of cool, coolness is nothing but anything that has shocked and given shock and awe to people. And that when starts to get accepted, becomes cool. Yeah. And when it becomes slightly mainstream, it stops being cool. So I think, if you look at this, there is a very fine line between the birth of coolness, something cool, and the death of something cool. A very good line comes to my mind from Dark Knight, which says, either you die and become a hero, or you live long enough to see yourself become a villain. So I think, that's what, you need to keep in mind. Anything, any product, any stuff will be cooler yesterday, will not be cooler tomorrow. So I think, that's the key to it.
Arunabh, it was a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you, the same here.
Friends, I had a great time talking to Arunabh, and I hope you too had a great time listening to our conversation. If you enjoyed this conversation, do remember to share it with your friends. They too are going to enjoy it. Should you wish to have a conversation with us, do not hesitate to write to us. In the next episode, we will have yet another disruptor with whom we will engage in a conversation to understand what did he do to disrupt the industry that he entered.